welcome to the very tiny home studio, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Everybody, this is Being. Just got here on their Across Canada tour. So what we're going to start with is a little introduction. So if you guys want to just state your name, your kind of position in the band.
I don't want to go first.
Okay, we'll start with you then.
I'm Jordan. I play guitar in the band.
I'm Ollie. I play bass.
I'm Brendan. I play the drums.
I'm Jamie. I scream at shit.
Awesome. So we want to start with is Being as the name of the band. Number one, where did it come from? What does it mean to you guys?
Actually, it came from like an album that I was listening to a lot at the time, Being by Aegean, or however you say their name. So that's kind of where it came from. I just thought it looked cool, kind of like signified like something bigger than, I don't know, I just wanted a big band name, just kind of follow like a big heavy sound. So an omnious kind of being was kind of what I was going for. And yeah, I just kind of started as just trying to write something heavier than I was doing previously, and then it kind of fruitated into a EP and went from there.
Killer. Wait, so as far as that goes, does the name of the band, went into it a little bit, but does you guys feel that it means a little bit deeper into the music? Does it leach into that at all?
Yeah.
Does it like reflect?
I do.
I know a lot of bands think that their name kind of reflects who they are collectively as a group. Do you
Like
feel
for
that
the first EP was the way it was written. It was kind of like, it was actually called The Awakening, and it was supposed to be written kind of as if a certain, again like an omnious being was being awoken into like this world or whatever. So it kind of started like that, and then I mean, I guess there's parts of songs and stuff that I don't really know. Kind of that's a tricky question.
Yeah, fair enough.
The way I kind of think about it is when all of us are on stage performing and that energy is in the room, we all kind of become that one being that's performing for the rest of the crowd.
Totally.
That's kind of the way I interpreted it when we
Yeah, I
started
know.
playing.
Well, I was at these guys' shows last night, and I will say that as a collective group, much bigger than life. Really
Thank you, man.
crazy
Thank
on
you.
stage.
Thank you.
Lots of energy.
Appreciate it.
I'd say of all the bands that were playing, I mean, I think everybody that was playing last night was killer.
Absolutely.
for
Some
real.
really
Good.
awesome bands, but you guys definitely attracted a ton of attention, and I think that was well deserved. So,
Thank you.
beyond that, let me check my notes here. So as far as the beginning of the band, I'm kind of curious. What's the origin story for the whole group?
So
This is good.
like I kind of mentioned, like I just wanted to write something heavier. So I was in another band at the time, and I started like kind of listening to stuff that like I used to my big like intake from influence from like metal was always like the heavy stuff when I was younger. So when I was writing, it was my last band. I just wanted to kind of go back to that a little bit, and so I literally just started as a solo project where I just kind of wrote some songs, and then I found a random dude on the internet to do vocals for it, and he turned out to actually live a couple hours down the road. So once we put it out, eventually, you know, a couple people were like, oh, this is cool, you know, and I was like, you know what, maybe let's try and make this a band. So we reached out, we found our original drummer and bass player, whatnot, just kind of threw together, and started playing shows, and it kind of just started as like, you know, let's just have some fun, play a few shows that are heavy and kind of see what happens.
Definitely.
And it kind of kept going, like, Oliver here got brought into the mixture a year later, I believe.
As a guitar player.
Yeah, as a guitar player. And then we've gone through a couple different member changes as we've been trying to find our new spot. You know what I mean? But I believe that we're pretty close with it now. Like, you know, everybody's pretty passionate, and so, you know, it's just trying to evolve and like push our music every release, be a little bit better and better, and try and find you know, where we're supposed to be, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And it takes a special kind of relationship to be able to throw 4 dudes in a van and drive across the country for a week.
Oh,
So.
you have no idea. It's been a bonding experience, to say the least.
Well, with this kid, more or less, like he joined recently, literally like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Just like hopping on the tour.
It's a lot of trust then to just be like, okay, I'll
There you
go
go,
with
bud.
you
Let's
guys.
go do this.
Let's
Hey,
go.
barely know you at all, but you're coming across Canada.
That's it, buddy.
Oh, that's killer.
But actually, even better with this guy though is on our last tour before this one, he jumped on our as a guest vocalist for a song,
Nice.
and then just out of nowhere, just these burly screams, and I realized that why is this tattooed man sitting in my van drinking? Oh, it's just Jamie. He's a nice guy. And then a few months later, once our vocalist left, he just hops on board, and it was like, hey, it's this guy.
That's usually how it happens. You just kind of
Yeah.
run into someone casually, and that's the way the connections are made.
You know, we when we lost the vocalist, it was kind of like, all right, you know, it's always a sign that something better could be on the horizon or whatever. And honestly, I think I put a status out or whatever looking for a vocalist, and he actually messaged me and was just like, why didn't you just message me?
Yeah.
I was like, I thought you were busy, man. I don't want to interfere. But he's been like crazy, like passionate about it, and like driving all the way down from Barrie for practices and stuff like that.
Crazy
so.
son of a gun.
A lot of respect for that. That's a hell of a drive to make. Too.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That being said, so I know, but just for the audience, because they might not be aware, you guys are from London, Ontario, primarily.
I guess
Um,
London, Barrie, yeah. It's always
kinda
kind of hard to narrow.
Southwestern Ontario,
Yeah.
collectively, if you want to
Yeah.
put it that way. You're mentioning the influences at the beginning of the band were really heavy music. I'm curious for everybody, what are early influences that made you guys want to, start playing music and being involved in the music scene in general?
Well, for me, I've been listening to like really heavy music since I was like just a little kid.
Yeah.
Me and my dad used to listen to a bit of everything, but he would introduce me to like Metallica, AC/DC, like a lot of the like older greats kind of thing.
Yeah.
And from that point on, I just kind of started like blossoming into the metal stream, and I got a game called Rock Band, which
Yep.
is a huge game, awesome game, and I discovered who Disturbed was.
Yep.
And from that point on, I just kept getting more and more into it until reconnecting with one of my old friends from high school. From elementary school. His name's Austin.
Mhm.
He brought me more in towards Slipknot.
Yep.
And then from that point on, I just kept going on, and I made my way to Slipknot. Then I started going through a little bit of like Suicide Silence, Chelsea Grin stuff.
Nice.
Like I went through a lot of it, but for the most part, I just kept progressively getting heavier to the point where I was like, I want to start playing this stuff. And
Yeah.
I picked up some instruments and I started learning.
Nice. And, I was going to say, I feel like probably for a lot of metal fans in general, when we're young guys and we start listening to like hard rock music or whatever, and it just kind of progressively gets to the point where you just can't find anything heavy enough. You're just always looking for like the
Oh,
next.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it got to a point where I was looking for the gnarliest gurgle I could, like I didn't want to make out the guitar notes. I wanted it to sound like it was recorded. Like that's what I was looking for
Yeah.
some
You're
odd
crazy
reason.
Russian deathcore. You're
Yeah,
Russian
I love
deathcore.
my Russian
Oh
deathcore.
my goodness.
Metallica was a huge one for me.
I think for a lot of people, yeah, they seem to be kind of the first foot in the
Yeah,
water type of
they
thing.
lived that larger than rock life. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And like I remember being young and like air guitaring in my bed, and like
Yeah.
my dad or my mom would walk in on me, and I'd be like, "Oh shit, it's
Yeah.
embarrassing." But then I got a guitar for Christmas that year because they saw that that's what I wanted to do or whatever. So I would say Metallica was probably like, not that I'm like a huge diehard Metallica fan or anything,
Mhm.
but I'd say they're probably the band that made me really want to like try and live
Yeah.
that life because metal doesn't really like that anymore. But one could
definitely.
dream.
Yeah, no, same for me actually. I started playing when I was like 12, same kind of thing, just an acoustic that was laying around the house, and then my mom was like, "Oh, you're actually like not bad at this," so ended up buying me a
Let's
guitar.
invest in this for you.
Exactly, and then
Yeah.
Metallica's always a good starting point, I think,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
metal and
Yeah.
rock music, because it's like so easy to play and yet so catchy and
Absolutely,
so rhythmic
yeah.
and
There's a reason why they sold millions of records across the world.
first band to play in Antarctica, all that shit.
Like,
you know?
hey, they know they're masters of their craft, and you have to respect the old art that kind of brings out the new art.
Oh, exactly. Very influential, and
Very true.
besides that, obviously, being a metal band, obviously you guys are influenced by that stuff. But what would people be surprised that you guys listen to? What's the stuff that? I know, we were talking about guilty pleasure yesterday. I don't think we decided we don't believe in guilty pleasures. Just whatever you're into is what you're into. So no shame. But what's something that maybe people might be surprised to know that you're into listening to currently, or
Platinum Blonde. That is my all-time favorite band.
yep.
They're an '80s hair rock band
Yeah.
from Canada here somewhere, and I absolutely love them. I tell people I'll put it on there. They'll be like, "What the hell is this, man? What are you listening to?" That is my music. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's something I grew up listening to my dad, and it's just like I don't know. I actually went and saw them a month ago or whatever for the first time, and it was like, holy crap! I was the youngest person in the crowd by like 15 years and stuff, but yeah, that was a great time. That's probably the weird one you wouldn't guess.
No, awesome. Oliver, what about you?
Oh man, anything really emo from the like from the good old 2000s 2010 era.
So we're talking like Fall Out Boy,
Oh
Panic,
yeah,
stuff
the
like that.
Used, yeah, MCR, yes please. Anything on Fueled by Ramen's record label.
Killer.
It's pretty awesome.
Actually, I just found out today, randomly, I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast. Turns out that the lead singer of My Chemical Romance is his cousin.
What the shit?
Is Joe
What?
Rogan's cousin?
What?
Yeah, and they do not know each other, but they're
No,
related.
dude,
Oh,
So,
okay.
weird information there, but what about yourself?
I got some rich
So-
history right there.
Yeah, I'd say right.
see, I don't have any really strange genres that I listen to. Like, obviously, I listen to a lot of metal, but I do appreciate a lot of a decent amount of rap, but only the stuff that actually has good flow to it and meaning. I don't like the stuff where it's the new mumble rap kind of thing. That's not my forte. But I'll go everywhere from metal, rap, pop punk. I'm kind of just all over the board with it. You'll literally come up to my car. I'll roll down the window, and you'll literally I'll be listening to September.
Yep.
I'll be listening to anything.
Oh,
So
no, that's...
I'm kind of all over the place.
I'm the exact same way. And the very quiet lead vocalist of the band, what do you...
They just pretty much said I listen to everything but country, really.
Yeah?
I don't really have one thing per se. I don't know.
Yeah, that seems to be a connecting thing with a lot of people is
You guys were going hard on Nelly today. It was actually awesome to see.
Oh. I can relate to that.
We have an awesome connection when it comes to music that these young bucks might not understand.
Sorry.
There's something about good old '90s summer music, when you put it on,
Some Lenny Kravitz,
What-
Sugar Ray,
you know,
stuff like that.
just
Oh,
anything
Bob.
like that,
Yeah.
Nelly will come on and we'll be just going hard on it, or another big one like Post Malone.
Yeah.
Isn't that posty?
It's more newer and stuff, I guess. But yeah,
I'll
same
join
thing,
in
same
on some
thing.
Post Malone every now and then.
Yeah. I don't know a lot of people who are musicians that don't at least appreciate what he brings to the table as far as...
I just like that he listens to all types of music.
Yeah.
He respects it all, for whatever it is.
Like-
And he
regardless.
combines it all together.
Yeah, if you even go back into where he hangs out in his living space and stuff, he has full drum kits, guitars on the wall, records. He has literally everything that you
Yeah.
can imagine that he wants to do. He does it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's a huge respect thing in the music industry.
Yeah. Speaking of that, as far as Post is concerned, do you guys think it's important to, even if you get to certain levels of success or whatever, is it cool to bring the fact that, Post is a rapper primarily, but he shows the fact that he loves rock music and he's not afraid to let people be aware of that? Do you think that brings some recognition and some validation to rock music in general?
I
To
think
kind of a
to
younger
rock,
generation?
yeah. I mean, there's
100%.
always going to be those people
Redefines
that, he's not a rapper anymore, or, I like his old stuff, and that's cool, but the fact that he's growing as a musician and whatnot, and pushing boundaries on it, that I definitely respect that, you know what I mean? I love bands and stuff that can do something a little bit different too.
Definitely.
Whether it be a metal band throwing a little jazz solo in it, or anything that's a little different. That's how the world keeps spinning. That you can't sit there and have the same mirror breakdown done by thousands and thousands of bands, right?
3, 2, 1.
You gotta have that weird thing that is something different brought in from another genre to help push the boundaries and help fresh bands come out and fresh sounds come out, and like I said, not be listening to the same 3 bands over and over again,
Yep.
because they're always gonna have those 3 or 4 bands that are the big thing that everyone tries to sound like.
Yeah.
So it's cool when you got that underdog that just comes out with something completely different.
Oh, definitely. That's always good to try and do your own unique thing, right? So,
Yeah.
It may be hard, right?
It's not easy.
You could put out an album thinking, "Oh, I hope everyone likes this," or it could be ripped apart. But living against that fear can help you write something really cool.
definitely.
Yep.
You guys think they would be more worth it, speaking of maybe younger bands or kids that are, 13, 14, whatever, just maybe thinking of getting into bands. What is the experience like for you guys, and what's the benefits of it? What do you think is important about it?
Don't give up.
Keep trying. Just keep doing it. Who cares? Keep doing it. You're going to suck your first time for your first show possibly, but just do it. Have fun.
You're gonna lose money.
I think you should just live for the experience.
Yeah.
Me personally, I didn't have too much not band experience. I didn't have a lot of show experience when I first came with these guys, right?
Your first shows with us, bud.
Yeah, well, okay, besides
Yeah,
the
be
point.
honest. Don't
Yeah.
be like
Yeah.
the world and lie to people.
No, but besides the point, I had no idea what to expect. But since I was a little kid, I always wanted to kind of pursue that musical industry thing. I wanted to be on stage and play music for people. And then
Yeah.
when I joined in with these guys, and I experienced it for the first time, the energy and like the feel of it is just insane. So if you're young and wanting to start music, I would 100% say you're doing it for the feeling of like chasing your passion. You know what I mean?
Fucking even if you're old too, God, be 80 years old. I want to see a bunch of 80-year-olds be playing like a beatdown band. That'd be sick.
Dude,
You
in
kidding
that
me?
Calgary show, the kids were like what? Yeah, like 13,
There was a
14,
family band
right?
and all that. It was really
Yeah,
cool.
they were
Diversity
amazing.
everywhere. It's just, man, music should just be a thing where it doesn't matter your age. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Whether it's on the side of the road, or in a bar, or in a jail.
Or in a parking lot for me.
Truth.
Yeah, no, I think the great thing about the metal community in general is the fact that the community itself has always been really strong, really tight knit.
It's because it's underground. The moment it gets like popular, it's gonna be ruined.
The thing with anything, right? Is,
That's why anything popular is just it just gets just like abused.
and I find maybe the reason for that, you guys can agree or disagree, but it seems like sometimes when something becomes mainstream, it's it loses the authenticity, not because of the.
Yeah.
Not because of the art form of itself, but because of the fans that it brings with it that are just into it because it's the cool thing. They don't enjoy it for the reason that
That's-
people
Or
don't
like
really
the
love
fashion sense that comes with it.
Dude,
Yeah.
True.
Going to what is it, H&M, getting your Metallica shirts next to your Justin Bieber shirts, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
just trying to
Total
you know
brand.
dress like you listen to metal, you know, which is like whatever. I'm not gonna dress what you want, but yeah, it's definitely kind of like they start seeing like, oh, everyone's wearing black skinnies and this and that, so now this culture is adapting it. Like you see a lot in hip hop now, where all these hip hop artists like are wearing Metallica shirts or Bad Breed, like all these obscure metal bands that they may know, and I'm not trying to say they don't, but
Yeah.
it's just kind of.
It's become almost kind of like the cool thing to be into like underground music, so it's
Yeah.
almost kind of making.
It goes back
music
to
be
the whole
mainstream.
thing where I think it's what Jared Dines or whatever. He goes around and is like, "Can you name 5 songs of the band of the T-shirt you're wearing?"
Yeah, and most people.
And
can,
most
yeah.
people can't because it's a
This is
cool
very
shirt,
true.
right? Or Jim Blow over there is wearing an Azalea Dine shirt, so I want one too. Because
Same with like tattoos. Like when I started getting tattoos, not like a lot of people had them, and now everyone's getting them, and it's honestly killing the tattoo industry too. With like there's same thing, tattoos become more popular and stuff, and it's just like the stuff that people are getting done or whatever is the attitude and stuff. It's just that's becoming that should have stayed underground too, and that's why like that's what's good about metal is it's really it goes through its waves where it's like popular at times, but like people that actually like metal are gonna like metal regardless of what happens. Like they're not just gonna fall out because it's a trend.
Yeah.
They're gonna like I've liked metal since like Korn, like
Yeah.
when they first came out. 'Cause I'm older than these guys, but so yeah, and I just kept chasing heavier stuff. But like yeah, if you like metal, you like metal. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not like I like it for this week or this month. So
Absolutely. Like I am also a hip hop artist, so I find myself heavily listening to other genres as well. But at the end of the day, like I'm still in a metal band. I still listen to metal every single day of my life. It may only be one song that day.
Yep.
But it always happens. I'll always
Yeah.
I'll always be a metalhead.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
No, I think
Very
that's
true.
that's what it's trying to say. It's like as far as the community of metal is always very strong, and it's when you were saying about how metal, whether it's popular or it's not, a lot of other genres of music come and go. We've
Right.
seen, a ton like grunge, for instance, had a very definitive, like you can kind of say this is when it ended.
yeah.
I mean, there's still those bands that were awesome that are still always going to be awesome, but metal, it always seems to come, it kind of comes and goes in waves, but it never goes away.
Well, see, there's always like within that too, like there's you'll see the genres that are what everybody's doing at the time or whatever, right? Like, gent was a big thing for a good 4 years, and now it's whatever the next thing is. Beatdown was a big thing for a bit. Now it's kind of it's there's always gonna be something, but at the end of the day, there's always still metal. Like it's always you can boil it down to whatever you want, but it's still metal, and it's always gonna be thriving.
I think honestly, like just nowadays especially, it's like you should just have good stage presence. You should put on a kick-ass show because like record sales don't really happen as much as they did back in the day. Whereas you go see a band, like you can get stuff free all you want, but like you're still gonna want to go experience like the band live regardless. Like even if you watch it on YouTube, it's still like the same thing. Like you're still gonna want to see that band live, and I feel like you should go crazy when you're on stage. People are there because it's like it's entertainment, right? Just like going to see a circus. You don't want to see like an elephant just standing there doing shit. You know, like,
Yeah, like,
there's no fun in that.
Here's an elephant.
Right?
All right,
There we go.
go.
That's what I do. I'm just like, like when I go on stage, I'm like, how would I want to see a vocalist? How would I want to see, you know,
yeah,
shit be done and stuff, right? And that's why, like, I like that, you know, don't get me wrong, bands that do technical stuff are cool, but I mean, at the same time, a lot of times when they're really technical, it's like, they're very stiff on stage, and it's good to have, like, have a little bit of a loose feel, or even have just, like, one person do lead and the other, you know, two just, like, go crazy.
Definitely.
But yeah, that's what counts, I think, is live shows, really.
I mean, like, I was having this conversation last night actually with one of the like fans in the crowd, and I was telling them, I was like, yeah, when you think about it, you're not paying for, like, you're not paying to hear what you can hear through your headphones off your phone or your computer or whatever. You're paying to see the lights, the band, like the movement. Like, you're there for everything. You're there for a show. So
Oh, exactly.
Give him a show.
exactly,
Yeah.
that's what you need.
I can.
Break my back and cut my throat. Like, come on.
That was bad.
Yeah, I can attest to the fact that as far as live shows go, like you can tell you guys definitely take it seriously and want to obviously give the audience a show. Like you said, it's not just about anybody can listen to an MP3 at home or listen to a YouTube clip or watch a video. But if you really want to go see a band live, what's going to bring a crowd out? You know, it's all about the live show nowadays. Like that's the main thing, and you guys definitely seem to have the spirit of putting on a kick-ass fucking
Oh
show.
yeah,
So.
I broke my wireless.
Oh,
I
he
broke
did,
a couple
yeah.
cables this tour.
All on this tour alone.
I legit threw my guitar off of my body by accident.
Yeah.
I think I almost hit like some like 12-year-old girls that were standing in the corner. It was not a good time. And then I had to try and figure. Oh, it was
Almost ripping down the curtains in time out there.
yeah.
That was fun.
falling off stage.
Oh,
Actually, we
awkward.
both have fallen off stage.
Mine's recorded though, so it's not fair.
Yeah. Like,
I had like one thing, I don't know, I matrixed like the fuck out of this stool. Like I put my foot on it. And like I don't know, went through and then went back around and like for some reason I didn't trip. I have no idea, but
Yeah, there's sometimes when you
Yeah,
put in that energy in and like, and I'm not gonna sit here and say like we have the best live, like that's definitely not the
We
case.
do.
We do. But you know, like sometimes stuff happens. You know what I mean? Like I would like to have not broke my wireless a couple days ago.
Yep.
That would have been nice.
A few $100 saved.
But like you know what I mean? Like
You gotta throw it down.
it's a moment. Like those people that I almost hit with my guitar are gonna go home and be like, man, I almost got hit with a guitar today. Who? Like I think
actually
they're
have a
called
scar
Being.
from
You know
that
what I mean?
shit, so-
Like so does he. Man, both these guys have had their heads
Yeah.
ripped open from
Yeah,
headstocks.
actually, yeah.
Like
Not
so,
fun.
it's you know, there's danger in it, but
I'm protected. I
You
got,
gotta
I
have a
got
fun
symbols
time.
and hardware covering me.
you say that now.
Oh,
I'll
be
get back there.
warned.
I'll get back there.
Kurt Cobain might jump over the drum set at the end.
Yeah,
know.
I can jump, bro.
That's fair.
Call the officer.
Not very high, but
And speaking of that, since you guys have just, how long have you guys been on tour now, total?
a week. It was a
Forever.
shorter for us.
Feels like
I was
Like-
gonna say it's just over a week because we left on Tuesday
Yeah.
last week, right?
So the put to rest did like like they did some like American dates and then they did the Canadians and they're doing a couple more American dates before they finish off. So we were just part of the Canadian attribute section of it.
awesome.
If we want to be very specific, I'm pretty sure we left on the 21st, 22nd.
It is the 30th today, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So Halloween's
Day
tomorrow.
before Halloween.
Yeah.
Heavy metal Halloween, everybody.
Yeah, that's it.
That's why we brought the captain in the corner there.
Oh, seriously. I didn't realize he was there.
His eyes glow. It looks like his eyes glow.
They used to.
Oh.
Gotta put some
Counts for
batteries back
something.
up his back, like I said, but and speaking of the tour in general, since you guys been on tour for a week, what was the experience of driving across Canada like at this time of year? What were the shows like?
these
What-
guys know fuck all. So they've done some pretty crazy stuff. But for some reason, every time me and him would take shifts. So
they
we
just
always
sort of
seen
like the platform.
hold on. We always seen the craziest shit and the craziest signs that didn't make sense. And we would wake them up and then we're like, hey guys, you guys gotta drive now. It's pretty crazy. The roads are like this. And then they would
You
start
got,
driving.
Like, deer, you got
And it
this.
like literally they would get to like
like
the like child version of the road. And they're just like, it wasn't that bad.
It
I'm
was
like,
not
you
that
have no idea. Like this one road we took, some guy was in a ditch.
His name's Rick.
We call him Rick.
Could've called
yeah,
him.
that was.
And then like
cool.
20 minutes
That's
later,
right.
there was a sign that says, when you die, you'll meet God. And I was just like,
Well,
We're not driving anymore.
yeah.
Like, we're pulling
And
over, like,
yeah, and it all these drives we did at night, every time like we drive in the daytime, it's just like, it's literally just nothing.
So you don't you know there's a cliff beside you. You don't see it,
but you know,
but you know it's
Yeah.
there.
You just
And
see like the
that's
lights.
that's
big
all
treetops.
fine and dandy.
So
but then you
bad.
got like avalanche alert. for however long.
And you
And
look
then
up and
moose,
you see the cliff over
mountain rams, or whatever
we haven't seen
figure
yet.
of your imagination
logos.
beast can be on that mountain, which never ever shows up.
Nope.
Except we saw a couple. Well, they saw a couple moose.
I think
but-
when I was
Yeah, some
driving in
moose.
Alberta,
I just wanna
beside
see
me,
a
he looks, he
goat.
goes, "That's a moose."
Like
That
it says,
would
like
be
there's,
cool.
We
dude,
were
there's
so
some-
tired. We were laughing at everything, and we are just like,
Oh.
"Where the fuck are the goats? Like,
Oh.
why can't there be a goat?"
So
Where
we
are the
literally
goats?
we took the rhythm of Sound of Silence and like made our own stupid ass songs for like, 2 hours straight.
Yeah.
I feel like everything we seen, we were singing about them sleeping, like just, and like when when they got up, they were like, because they were tired and groggy, and we were just fucking delirious.
No, they were in
laughing about
hysterics. And at first
stupid
I was like,
shit. We
what
just kept
happened?
talking about Rick. This guy's in a ditch, potentially could be hurt.
I thought.
And like everyone drove
yeah.
by him, and we're
Which,
driving.
by the way, why is nobody like looking out for these guys? These truck drivers are just like
Yeah, I don't
dying
think
on the
everyone
side of the
drove by.
road, and trucks are just like going by.
It's like commonplace or something. I don't
that's,
know.
That's kind of messed up.
Yeah,
as,
like
as a
truckers,
society,
I mean-
that's something we should be looking
And
into.
as I'm
Well-
judging everyone, I'm like, they're not even stopping to help this guy. It's just like, he's in my rearview mirror, and I'm like, I'm not stopping either. So like,
Yeah, that's the
Same
same.
dilemma.
I mean, like
I'm not. I'm
at the same
part of the problem.
time, some of those drivers, they're not very friendly. I've almost gotten taken out by
Doesn't mean they
multiple-
deserve being a ditch.
Oh God, no! That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, his life's
But,
not less
like,
value than
no,
like
no,
yours.
not at all, not at all.
Same,
But
same with the beach.
Save
Actually,
your
some
prayers
of
for
them-
Rick. We
Yeah,
forgot it.
actually,
We miss Rick.
actually, there was one time when our van actually kind of shit the bed, and a truck driver
Kinda
pulled
shit
over.
the
Yeah.
Kind of shit the
We were on
bed.
the
Yeah.
side of the
There was
road,
like transmission
waiting for
fluid
CA to pick us up.
sprayed
I mean,
on the
but
whole
the
bottom
truck
of
driver
the
pulled
van.
over for us.
The whole
Like, there was that
bottom.
one dude
One guy.
when you came outside with me. And
I
the
don't
truck was
remember. The van broke down. I literally just said, you know what, fuck it. I got hammered off Kraken.
yeah.
I was just like, I don't want to deal with this, and
He really did.
yeah, I got really
Well,
drunk.
there was a truck driver that pulled over on the side of the road for us, and he came out and he's like, "Oh, is everyone okay?" And we're like, "Yeah, no, we're fine." He's like, "Do you guys want
Then he
water?"
took off.
But he
yeah.
just left.
Well, that's because I told him we're fine. We had CAA on the way, so we were covered. But
That was a very good choice on that.
We literally
We didn't
got
have
it.
it till
Yeah,
then.
we got it.
Well,
And the
we-
van has a trip or a
that
CAA
was the
sticker
thing,
on
that
it,
was the
and we
thing.
didn't have it.
I called him like, hey, so I'm on the side of the road right now. And he's like, do you have CA right now? Are you a member? I'm like, nah, I just need some help. Well, what we can do is we can sign you up for a 1 year, membership, and then we can get you out there right away. Or for the same price, we can give you a one-time pickup.
I'll take it for a year, bro.
Yeah,
Are you freaking
especially at this
kidding
point,
me?
we're like, well, we have to
Free
drive across
award
Canada
or
and
piss.
back, so and you only get it 4 times.
4 times.
So like,
Wait, is that 4 times the rest of the year?
yeah,
We got crashed the car 4 times, bro. Fuck.
it's not very much.
Shit.
It's
hand me the keys, boy.
like, what? This guy took a shit after he got CAA too. And then, no,
the
listen,
nerves,
listen,
bro.
listen. And then 2 days later, he's like, I gotta take a shit. And I'm like, why? He's like, I still haven't finished the one from when we broke down. I'm just like,
The best,
Holy
Fucking
that
truck
shit.
showed up.
for like 2 days. And it's like, whatever.
the best was a few days ago when we were driving around and we're just like, "Hey, you got me?" And he's like, "No, I got to shit." We're like, "Why do you have to shit so much?" He's like, "I shit when I get nervous, dude."
Hey, everybody gets their own tics,
It
bro.
happens.
That's not me.
He's,
Like, my shit will turn into coal. Like, I get nervous. I'm just like, whoa, I don't want to fucking. I don't
Very
know.
different end of the spectrum on that.
Yeah.
That's why we're on opposite sides.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
weird.
That's why we
my
should
God.
like this.
I've seen the van. It's a Dodge Ram van.
Yes,
is it?
sir.
Oh,
96.
nice.
Her name's Deborah or Debbie.
Yeah,
or-
Debbie.
We call
Big
her
Debbie.
for short. Yeah.
Deborah, Debbie.
And then
Shout
we
out
have,
to Debbie.
and then we have a shark.
Bitch.
Oh,
A
yeah,
shark named Bruce. He's a Lord of Sharkness.
Oh,
Yeah.
we should have brought him in.
We still
And then we
remember
got
last
the
time.
moose.
Maurice.
Yeah, Maurice the Moose.
Maury. Yeah.
Lulu, the hula girl.
I thought it was Lulu.
Salulu.
Salulu. Yeah. it was
Wow.
She's kind of leaning now. I don't know if she's
Yeah.
been getting into the alcohol. I don't know,
Or
it's kinda weird.
she's been getting some with we're not looking, you know.
Maybe,
Oh,
dude, maybe,
jeez.
maybe Bruce took her to his territory. Maybe he showed her what the depths of the sea was like.
So we got Maurice the Moose to like kind of like, you know how like tribes have trophies of like, you know, like this is what'll happen.
Yeah.
It's like our little homage to be like, don't step in front of us, please.
Oh,
Because they'll
we
ruin
also
our
have a
name.
pumpkin on the front of it too right now because it is Halloween. It is decorative.
We have to have a little bit of festive.
There's like a lot of random stuff in the van.
Yeah.
I feel like that's all just gonna be memories for later, anyway. So
Probably.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's why this one got. That's why this one got the moose. Because he's like, dude, he wanted to get antlers.
Because he
for
didn't
the
really
van.
know how big a moose was.
Oh,
And I'm
yeah,
like,
I
dude, a
had no
moose will
idea.
fuck your car up. It's like hitting a dinosaur.
He was acting
It's
like they're just like little deer. Like, oh, we'll hit him, be
Okay,
alright. It's
I
like,
didn't know
bro,
they were deer,
no,
but
this
like
is
I
like-
wasn't
it
as
is a
concerned.
house. That is a house on the side of the road you do
With,
not
like,
want to
big
hit.
legs. It's a walking
And then when he
house.
finally saw one, it happened to be a female, so he didn't even get to to fully see a
You need to
moose.
see the horn.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like the-
Oh man.
Majestic.
You know what? We're
crazy.
waiting our whole trip out here. We're just talking about seeing a moose to the point. We were doing the same road trip. It was like long, like 14-hour drive.
Yeah.
We're just like looking out the window, like moose, moose. Where are you? And we never saw one.
I'm like
Well,
that
it's
with
like-
goats. I want to see a
Yeah.
mountain goat. They have tons of signs. Like, there's like a sign every 3 feet. Mountain goat. I'm
Yeah.
like, there's no mountain.
They're kind of taunting
Didn't
you with
see
it.
elk, didn't see
No.
mountain goat. We've seen deer,
Yeah.
like on the side of the
Yeah,
road
yeah.
in Banff and stuff.
That one
and
came
was
through.
cool.
Those
but
signs came through. I was
You
waiting
know?
to see. I was waiting to see one of the.
mountain lion
one of
would have
the-
been cool to see.
not-
Not
I
up
was-
close.
yeah.
Oh
but-
yeah.
I was waiting for one of those little like rams to come out too. Like those things, like they're
that's
cool.
what I'm saying.
You know
But
what
the
I
mountain
find?
goats.
They
that
I was
was
waiting for an
cool.
eagle to drop a goat. You know, they like grab the goat off the mountain. and drop it.
Or like
It's
the little
out of
mountain goats
nowhere.
where
I'm
you
like,
see them, like,
Walking.
I'm thinking of the ones where they like scale the side of the mountain and they're like literally walking like
Yeah.
yeah.
they're like parkour goats.
No,
we,
the
we've
best.
got to
Parkour,
ask
parkour.
whoever puts those signs up on the side of the Trans-Canada Highway. Can
Yeah,
you please stop
come on.
taunting
Who
us with
decides
these
that
animal
goats
sightings?
Lies
come
in
from
the
there?
sea.
Right?
Literally. No, the best was when we saw the ram sign and then the avalanche sign like 10 feet away from it, and we're all just like, dude, are we gonna see a horde
It's
of
basically
these,
saying that
of these
rams are
things falling
dickheads
down
and
the
they just
hill?
cause the avalanche. And just like, but we've also thought that we are driving a Dodge Ram, so maybe he thinks we're like part of his squad or something.
Yeah, so
You're
they
part
just-
of the.
We're
You're
giving
yeah.
a present.
Yeah, so
so
we have
don't
like,
mess with us.
yeah.
we're the alpha males
You're
of
the
the
alpha
Ram
ram.
Society.
Or like a goat's gonna challenge us or something and be like for dominance.
Or-
well,
Back.
then we'll see it. So
Exactly,
let that
right.
happen. Let it happen.
We also have little horns on our headlights that like make some sound to ward off wildlife.
Yeah,
Me and
those
this guy were
little
like, dude,
whistles.
like let's take them off. Have all the
When
animals.
we switch
shaken
over
up.
for the driver in the morning, they said something about it. I'm like about to fall asleep. And he says something like, "Oh, we took those off, by the way." What? What'd
Dude,
you
he
do?
freaked
We're like,
out.
"I'm
He was like-
kidding."
he was like, "Wait,
Like,
what?"
what? Because if so, well. let's
I
see
spent like a
some
whole
goats.
$12 on them. How were they expensive?
My mom bought for me.
It wasn't
Oh, I feel
expensive. My
bad.
mom bought it. Who cares what
Yeah.
the price was? Thanks, mom.
Thank God
Exactly.
for moms.
Thanks,
Oh,
mom.
my mom was so sweet.
No, you know who is? No.
And the
She
roadside
came
kit that
through.
she got him, that came real
In
handy.
case
Oh,
like
it's like the-
we have
Yeah.
ticks and stuff, if we can.
Thanks, Mama. You
Yeah,
made me.
there's,
You're
like-
probably gonna end me too. So yeah.
Kids, just remember, if you're traveling across the country in a van,
Let
with
your
a
mama
band,
buy you stuff.
let your mom buy you stuff, and always bring. an
Make sure the
emergency kit.
cigarette lighters
Yep.
work too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Emergency
so you,
later.
can, so you can charge things.
We did you hear that story yet?
Oh,
So we have no cigarette lighters. Like we have them, they just don't work.
Yeah.
So we didn't even notice till like we had driven already. I don't think.
Okay.
No,
We
I
didn't,
tried
we
right
didn't
away.
notice until
We just
like,
didn't give a fuck after. So
Yeah.
we're like we'll be fine until like a
The
couple hours.
GPS
into the trip, we're
starts
like, shit, we
dying,
need
and it's
those.
like, oh
Yeah.
shit, wait a
Like,
second.
No radio.
And then our phones are already half dead because we've been texting all day or whatever, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh shit,
And
okay.
then they went, yeah, but then you guys went into the Walmart and you got those like portable chargers.
Which
But
only
then,
works so well.
but then, yeah, so you charge the portable chargers, and then you're faced with the issue of these are now dead. What
gotta
now?
charge
What?
those.
Now we have dead
gotta
chargers.
stop.
Oh, so
Yeah.
we every like couple 5 hours or something like that, we'd pull over and be like, all right, let's get a rest in, or like stretch our legs out, grab a coffee or whatever, and like charge
Yeah.
the books like, right away. Like we were in like some tiny town, North
Yeah.
Ontario, at like 9 o'clock at night. We went in like a little restaurant. We're like, can we just
Oh,
charge your
that's cute.
phones in your off area?
Yeah.
Like,
That was just.
I have to
before-
ask the other waitress.
Wasn't that
Like,
just before
we
Thunder
sat
Bay,
there?
I think?
Yeah, maybe. I really don't know. Don't
Yeah,
know
we had to drive like
the
nonstop
times.
for like 28 hours
That
Yeah,
sucks.
just to
Yeah,
get to that first. Well, second show was missed the first one.
Yeah.
Hey, van issues.
We just
Like,
put, once
yeah.
we got towed and like we had to wait for the Canadian Tire to open up,
Canadian
which
Tire
means
in what place was that?
Perry Sound.
Perry Sound. They are awesome.
Yeah, they came through. For
You
us.
got it
They were
right. That
good.
you kept saying Port Perry, like for like the like. You got it right that time though. You kept saying
I
Port
said
Perry.
Perry Sound all the time.
No, you said Port Perry a couple
I didn't
times.
even know Port Perry was a place.
Me either.
You
Seasons.
did. You said Port Perry a couple times.
No disrespect
I
to
was
Port
saying
Perry.
a
I'm
lot.
sure it's a wonderful community, but
No, not saying anything about Port Perry, but he thought we were in Port Perry.
By the way,
there's,
there was a Perry involved.
Then there was that. What
Both
else
very-
did we
The
go
plastic.
to? What was that place we went to that did that oil change for us? They gave us like the works. They checked.
God,
They
bro, I
checked our
don't know.
transmission. And
Jiffy
oil.
Lube. Shout out to Jiffy Lube.
It was Mr. Lube.
Mr. Lube.
Mr.
Yeah,
Lube.
they did
Shout out
good.
to them
All,
too.
all
They
the
replaced our
lubrication.
bikes, like-
He did
Whether
say
it's
Perry
your
Sound.
automotive
Do you
or
want-
fucking
do you want to be-
self-personal, it's all needed.
So personal.
You-
We'll
You
sponsor,
guys say
sponsor
Perry.
us. We'll come change our lubes. We'll shout you out on
Yeah,
Come
change
change
your- change your-
our
I think it's a
lubes.
it's a good connection for a sponsorship. deal.
lubricants. You know, our oils.
I need it.
Come change.
That's like a good slogan for like a. never
These guys have
mind.
been to lube.
Yeah. Come
Come on,
our
Jiffy Lube.
lubes.
Yeah.
Hit these guys up.
We'll put a sticker on it or
Sponsorship.
something.
Those like.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
a sticker. When to get our next oil change?
All right. Well, I guess what I kind of want to end with is the fact that this tour is now over. You guys are going to be headed home. What is next for you guys? What are the plans for the future of the band going forward?
Fries. French fries.
French
What's
fries.
the French fries?
Yeah.
We
Dude,
we
what's
have
that
a new
place
song that we have been playing on this tour, so we're basically just trying to get that recorded and music video and all that fun stuff and get that out, as well as we're working on putting out a new album of some sort.
Also, we have essential oils coming out to Bed Bath and Beyond, or was it?
I think so.
Was
I
it
think it's Bed Bath
maybe
& Beyond.
just I don't know.
Are you guys serious? You have
Yeast.
essential oils?
Yeah, we're still working.
Yeah,
on it.
we're trying to get a line going.
That's killer.
What?
Make it hot and fresh.
It's gonna be called.
Yeah,
It's gonna be called.
He's even like, what? Yeah, I mean,
It's gonna be called
I'm
Being
so
You.
down for that.
That's what it's called, Being You. Just being you.
Or Plan Being, we have that in the process as well.
Yeah, so.
Okay,
you know.
that was.
Marketing
That we can't
genius.
talk about right now, though.
Yeah, that's a secret.
That's on the
Okay,
down
we're
low.
totally dead. The card just crashed. Battery's dead.
We're ending on essential oils.
49.
Cool.
Sorry.
I'm cool with that,
That's
bro.
killer.
Essential oils.
Sweet.
Being essential oils.
You should
That
like
is
record
killer.
after that. Be like, these guys just kept talking for another half hour straight.
I'm okay
So-
with essential oils.
I was super excited to have you guys get here and just hear the fucking road stories because it's always my favorite. Honestly, the
That's
shows
awesome.
I know are like the focus when people think about going on tour, but the funnest shit happens everything but the shows.
Yeah, when
I
you go on
mean, like-
radio and have
Bro,
to
we walked
entertain
down a
yourself.
street called Hastings. You ever heard of this place?
Oh God.
Place is fucked.
It's wild.
They went
No,
to a
they
vape lounge
own the
today. I
road.
watched like 8 people smoke crack, just like on the street, like just didn't care. They're just like, and
Hey Jamie, you
They
can't
do
walk
it-
around to the beer, but you can
Dude,
smoke some crack.
I figured out how to do it. Look it, they put the tinfoil in this finger and it looks like they're lighting a smoke. They're like, bah, bah, bah. I'm just
They
like,
own
yeah,
the
down to
road.
science.
They
They have
It's
street moves. They're
It's
street
crazy. I was
ninjas.
like,
When we walked past a dude that was literally just laying on the ground like this with a fucking switchblade out, just like looking at people.
some guy.
I don't think
also-
they didn't see it, and I didn't want to say anything. I was just,
Dude, someone had a sword.
Some
Some dude
guy
had a
also
sword walking
headbutted
the
a
road.
pole today when they were at the
Yeah,
vape
you
lounge.
mentioned
She was like chirping. He was like, "What? You want a piece of meat? Bang!" And I'm like,
That's
"I
the-
need to
the
get out
weird
of
part
here."
is, it's like that must be a thing because when we were in
That's
Ottawa
insane.
last, someone fucking headbutted a pole there too.
Yeah, no.
Oh, then there's
I don't know if that's a thing with whatever drugs people are taking now, but I've seen
I have
people
no
do
idea.
that shit.
You have two?
I have seen people headbutt
Okay,
things.
so
I
it's
don't
a
know why.
thing.
So
It is a
so
thing.
these like nice ladies are walking up and it looks like they're waving at this girl. They're like smiling. They're going hi, and I'm just like, oh, they seen their friend. So I'm in the van. It's just this sketchy girl in a shopping cart going down the hill, like riding it like a child. And it's like, what is happening? Like, like why am I here by myself? You sleeping? I'm like,
Oh my
oh, no.
God.
I was tired. I need to sleep.
You missed so much stuff. Like,
I'm glad I did, dude. Fuck.
As well, I think our time was better spent.
That was funny.
Guarantee, especially for you because it's your first tour and everything out with like
Yeah,
a
that
band,
was
which is for especially if those are your first shows, that's a
I mean,
fucking
it's your
killer.
first tour too, right?
That's a
Yeah.
killer
Yeah.
experience. For
across
sure.
Canada, I guess.
You're never gonna forget the first one. That's a big thing. But
No,
those
no.
weird,
Yeah.
crazy shit that you're gonna think about that forever.
Yeah, dude. I still like every time I think of a lighter, I always say "c'est un briquet." It's just because of the first tour, a little moment thing. I mean, a little shit like that will stick with you. It's kind of like weird.
Yeah, we'll
but-
be talking about this later on. He'll be like, "Yo, where are the mountain goats?"
Yep. It's gonna be an inside joke forever now.
Rick's
I
always
won't be
gonna
able to
be
say
with
that
us.
when I get back
Yeah.
home. Because everyone's gonna be like, aha, what? That makes no sense. Like I'm like, oh, where the mountain goes. Everyone's gonna be like, what?
You're
Like,
gonna start.
That's not.
Just be like
tattooing
tattoo
mountain
and
goats
be
into
like-
people.
But Rick!
If someone gets you to do a
Who
sleeve,
else?
just sneak a mountain goat in there somewhere.
Yeah, right. Like.
Yeah, just go
Rick.
into
See,
the
some
We
Somewhere
should
they
see if
can't
we
see
can
it.
find you like one of those life-size cardboard cutouts of a goat, like a mountain goat, and just like put it on your wall at work. So you always have a goat with you.
That would be amazing.
Or moose. I don't like a life-size
Or we can just
Oh,
get
can
one
you
of
stop
those name
recording on
tags
the
from
audio?
one of those like
Why?
from one of those stores that just says Rick on it.
Fair enough,
That'd be cool.
dude.
I'm just gonna spell the name Rick with like tipped over transport trucks and just.
And then God will see that and be like, "Okay, you guys can have Rick back."
It's like where we can leave the
If we could bring him back like that, I think that we.
If you could resurrect
Unreal.
Rick
Oh
by writing a message to God and tipped over transport trucks,
man, what?
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
that needs to be an
Then we would
animated.
just have to go tipping over transport trucks.
Yeah.
Okay,
Then
I
we
wonder
could-
if it's
then
still
we
there.
could
Wait,
make
wait,
more
rest-
bad
It
wait,
than
probably is.
You're rescuing already tipped over transport trucks. You're repurposing them.
good. Okay, that
Okay,
makes it
okay.
better.
And the best-
I'm
Recycle.
good with
You know.
And I was talking to a buddy yesterday at the show, who also used to be from London, Ontario, Josh Ford. I don't know if you.
I think I spoke to him yesterday.
Yeah, so he was from London, and like I was telling him the story of Rick, the very tragic story of Rick.
Just turning into like a
And
mythology already.
It's going to be by the time we leave this province.
his
It's
kids are gonna
be-
grow up fatherless. Like,
Yeah.
it's-
Well,
That's heartbreaking.
we had a whole backstory,
That's kids.
but he was saying
He's
that
been
like
married for 2
as soon as I
years.
told him the story, he's like, "Was that like 3 days ago?" And I'm like. Yeah, I think it was about that. He's like, oh yeah, the next day they shut down all the air bridges and that's all. It was windy as fuck, and I'm like, it was
You know what?
windy as fuck, yeah.
There was actually a windstorm earlier in the week, so I think that might also contribute.
Wow.
Well, like I'm
Absolutely.
driving
It got
and
Rick,
like
man. It got Rick.
I like keep hitting the on the side of the road, and Jordan's like, "You okay?" I'm like, "I'm
You
fine."
drunk?
The wind's just pushing me over here. Like I'm trying not to hit those lines, but the wind's just like, no.
And the
And
guys,
it's so high too.
backseat drivers, like, dude, just go like that.
on the road.
It looks like I'm
Calgary,
driving a
that would be
forklift.
bad.
Like literally, I do this, and the van does. This is the van going straight.
Yep.
Like the steering wheel's so loose, it's like I'm driving a forklift. Like, it's
I
nuts.
actually, I was landscaping at a place here for an entire, it must have been close to a fucking year. But the job over, you go there in the morning to a yard. It's underneath a bridge going into Vancouver. You take this rickety old van, you load up a lawnmower, you change the blade every morning, and then you just drive around Vancouver and go cut random people's lawns.
Awesome.
They give you a list, and they're like, here you go, these are the places. And you prioritize, like, okay, this one has a 1,000-foot square lawn. I'm going to cut that one because it's worth more money. Fuck the guy with a 200-foot square lawn.
it's like Uber for lawns.
But the worst thing that got bad about this is that the van didn't have an air system, it didn't have a radio that worked, it didn't have
oh, we
any-
don't have the radio either.
no
yeah.
electronics at all other than the lights may have worked. And it got to the point where it's getting to this time of year, it's pissing down rain, Vancouver, it's fucking pouring. And I had to, the windows were fogging up because there's no air system, so I had to roll the window down and stick my head out the window driving in downtown Vancouver,
Nice.
trying not to hit anybody, and then I had to parallel park that thing.
In the rain.
Yeah.
Jeez, nice.
We have like
was
Moulin
not
Rouge
safe.
lights.
Oh yeah, we do. We have
and
moonlighting.
like yes, we have mood lighting in the cab, I guess you would call it, of our van, which is
Sexy.
really cool.
very, very.
Then we have these little lanterns that kind of pop out of the side there, which are
Yeah.
really handy when they work.
When
The one's like, yeah, I'll work right now. No, I'm not gonna work right now. Like it's very like you
It's
never
selective.
know what you're gonna
It's
get.
like a temperamental girlfriend.
The other one just hangs, but like you can pop
Literally,
back in there.
literally
like,
the dashboard is
I was
Annabelle.
gonna
Like it
say,
has to
dude,
be like
you know
blessed
what's-
every fucking
yeah.
month because it
You know
does
what's-
whatever the fuck it wants.
You know what's
Turn the
really awesome when
blinker
it
on.
works? The thing that's really awesome when it works, the speedometer. That
It
thing.
never works.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's good when it works. You turn the signal on and it starts
You know,
waving to you like.
Guys, we might get a speeding ticket, I'll have no fucking idea.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
no, okay.
We just stare at the GPS.
See, yeah,
just
the
got the thing
GPS
there.
helps us because it has the actual speed.
As
limit
you turn the
on.
lights on, that goes up. Also, what's the other thing? Oh yeah, like
The
to get your
battery,
high
the
beams
gas
off,
gauge.
you have to have the high beam like off.
yeah.
And then when you're driving, it looks like your four ways are going on all the time. I'm like, am I signaling? I don't know.
We actually bursted a headlight because
Yeah.
some sort of there's some sort of short going on
Yeah.
in the wiring.
Yeah, we'll figure it
So at one point, like
Damn you,
when
Cal
we
Tire.
broke down, we realized we didn't have a headlight, and then the guy shows me like the Canadian Tire dude showed. He's like, "Here's a new headlight that's in your car right now. Here's the old one." Like
Oh.
it was just
He
replaced.
fixed the transmission. I was just like, it's not guaranteed. It's probably fucked. He's like, have fun going to Vancouver. I'm just like, you're dick.
You see, like, they asked where we're going. I'm like,
And what city was this in?
Perry Sound.
Yeah,
Perry Sound.
Yeah, Perry Sound, there you go,
So I was literally like, yeah. So where you gonna go? And I'm like, well, we're supposed to be in Winnipeg tonight, but we're going to Vancouver. And he's like, one of those like single
He
laughs,
gave
you
you-
know.
yeah.
And he's like an
That
older
was
dude. He's got the
nasty.
white beard, and he's like those beady little eyes just piercing through me, just like. Like,
That classic, like,
Yeah.
old white guy not impressed with what you're doing
and
right
you,
now.
and you, no matter what, you can't not be upset with
You
what
know,
he just
I
did.
feel judged right
Yeah.
now.
So like,
Yeah.
well, guess what? We're fucking here.
Yeah.
I just
And we've
realized,
had no
I
issues
found out how you
from
can check to
stairs,
see if you're
but-
signaling. Just look at the speedometer, see if it's waving at you.
No,
That's-
I know.
yeah.
No, I know. In that, like, everything in the van, I know what's up now. But when it first happened, I thought my
Oh,
four ways
yeah.
were on because they were both glowing. And I'm like, oh my high what's it called? My high beams are off. So a car was coming. And all of a sudden the headlights got brighter. I'm like, that wasn't my high beams? Like, what the fuck's happening? I'm like
You know,
blinding people for like 20 minutes. Like, this fucking asshole.
I have it on good authority. Northern Ontario kills bands. I don't know what it is.
It's
It does.
terrible,
it
man.
does.
It's
Maybe
so
it's all the hills.
long.
I don't know. It's like it just ruins them.
I mean, there's a lot of hills here
Struggle.
too, but
But we
I think
got
it's
through it.
just no. I don't know.
One more time to get through it now.
That cliff crap bullshit.
Oh god.
Daytime.
Well, we're so
Daytime.
this time on the way back, we made a decision. Well, we made sure that we're gonna like stop and sleep, and
Yep.
then when it's daytime, we'll take that. Cause like
It's a
other
scary
than
drive at
just I'm sure it'll be like
We're sitting there, he's energy drink. I'm like fucking Timmy's. I'm like on the front of the wheel like this. We're both like,
yeah, like I'm straight up like
where's the moose?
I'm terrified of driving. I'm terrified of driving at night. So like it helps me stay awake as a good co-pilot.
Yep.
Most nights. But so like we're
Talking shit
seeing
keeps
these
us up.
moose
It's insane.
signs
It's
and,
true.
and like he's like, man, I remember one time, you know, when you see the black moose signs, that's when you gotta worry. And it's like 2 minutes later,
Black moose
huge
sign.
black moose sign, and I'm like, oh shit. Oh god.
So then, as he's
We're
getting
gonna hit a
paranoid,
moose.
I'm like changing my story on him. I'm like, well, it's more like it's just they just do it for certain things. He's like, no, you told me this was the reason they had it. He's like,
Tried to sugarcoat
don't
it.
come back on your statement now. Like,
I am not falling for this
you've
shit.
already told me about the fucking sign.
And like, so I'm already sitting like, but now I'm like in the window of the van, like
But
I'm
he's
gonna
like
see
this,
it,
like
something
just like holding on the dashboard and shit.
and
I'm like,
that's
Jordan,
like,
you good?
that's pretty tiring, you know. My eyes just like 100 miles. You know?
The one
So
time,
it's like being on coke, but
Yeah,
just because of
exactly.
fear.
he's my co-pilot, so he's going like this. He's nodding off. He goes like this. He goes. He looks at me. He's like,
You good?
"You good?" I'm like, "Am I good?" I'm like, "You're fucking falling asleep."
Oh,
And then you do it again. He's like, "Oh, my neck hurts." I'm like, "Dude."
I have constant pain in my neck. I have to always stretch it out. So like, that's what I'm doing. all
Well,
the
at
time.
least he's like
I'm on,
teetering.
I'm
When
on
I'm,
level with you on
it,
that.
It's
yeah,
just
but
like-
like I'm saying, at least
it's
he's
a pain.
teetering though. When I'm driving and I look over, I see all these.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, fuck. I
Yeah,
can't
Dude,
do
I'm
this.
we're driving.
You
So
can't
after we're
trust
doing
me.
that moose territory,
Don't trust me.
me and Jamie swap out. They
Yeah.
hop up and they're driving,
Don't
and
trust me.
he's in the passenger, supposed to be doing. I'm like, it's moose watch season, bro. Like, stay awake.
You are
And
responsible for four people's lives right
Exactly.
now.
so I crawl in, you know, and finally fall asleep, and I like wake up because I'm a very light sleeper, and I'm just like, and I look over, and I see Ollie's head against. And I'm just like, wake the fuck up! Like you
Dude,
need to be
that was
awake for
hilarious.
this.
I looked over and I saw your, I saw your hands reach from behind his seat, grab his shoulders, and just wake up,
It's
man.
like, I didn't-
All he
like-
wakes up is like, I didn't sleep. I mean,
I
dude,
didn't
you're like
have
this the whole
like
time.
8 mini heart attacks over the span of 5 hours to
Oh
like
my
have
God.
him just sleep through it. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't work that
You know
way.
what? I hate to admit it, I am exactly the same as that. I can
That's-
sleep through a fucking like the
Yeah.
house could fall down around me and I would probably.
Dude,
not
when
wake
I
up.
was 4 years old and living in an apartment building, me and my dad slept through a fire alarm.
fucking Jesus Christ.
So,
I'm pretty easy to get up
I
unless
hope
I'm
it
on
was
a
just an
ferry.
alarm.
Unless you're
No,
drunk
it's
on a
just a
ferry.
girl. That's
And
all.
you're
Thank
out.
God.
We had
Oh.
a few late night early morning beers after a driving shift, and well, then we had to go on the ferry to go
Oh,
to
boy.
Vancouver Island there.
Yep.
We were a little.
Don't drink
We
and go
had
on
some
the
drinks.
ferry.
We all fell asleep.
Yeah.
And Jordan woke up. I
And
went close
being
my
a
eyes.
light sleeper, I hear bing. I'm an island. I'm like, oh shit, that's us. And then I was like, boys, get up. And he went out for a smoke at one point, and then like he could find us. So
No, I didn't
or
go
not
to
smoke. He
I
went
just went
outside.
out
That's
to
what it was. Sorry.
Yep.
And then he could find us. We were all looking at each other, like probably just walking the same circles at the same time. Eventually, I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna sit down right here. And then he obviously did the same thing. So we hear the thing, and I'm like, okay, I'm sure Jamie heard that too. Like, we'll all meet at the van. We all go down to the van. We're sitting there. Like, Jamie's not here. So we're like sitting around. I'm like,
Literally, like the doors to the
all
ferry.
everybody's like everybody's in the car, and I'm like,
The doors to the ferry are literally
man,
opening.
where
at
is
point.
this? Yeah,
Where
they
is
were
our
open. I'm like,
vocalist?
call me if he gets here, and I'm like running. I'm legit running upstairs. People are looking at me like,
Yeah,
what's that
dude.
guy doing?
He looks
Like,
at me. He's like, "Call me
man.
if he gets here." I look at my phone.
It took like
2%.
It took me a good 5 minutes to find him too, because there's such a big boat. There's so many
It's funny
places
too
you can
because he
sit.
woke me up. He was like, Jamie, we're like, you know, we're getting off the ferry. I was kind of like woke up like, okay, relax, I'm getting up. Like I was, and then, like I didn't know about any of this.
So you woke up
Like,
to
I was like, whoa, dude, yeah, I know, we're getting off the ferry.
you
Like,
woke up to the basically
relax.
being like, dude, a volcano's going off right
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
Let's
Like,
go.
I'm gonna go back to bed. You know,
Like,
like
what? Yeah.
Ugh.
I can relate hard to that because we went and went on the ferry to Vancouver in the summer for the first time as well. The whole thing's very fresh in my mind, so I can imagine being that fucking freaked out. Being on that deck is really intense.
Yeah.
And,
That
and
was
it's
cool,
like
though.
clockwork. The second, like the people around here that do it all the time, then it's like second nature to them. So
Right.
they get down there, they're in their car, they're fucking ready to go.
Yeah.
Engines are on. The people are like, they're in and out really fucking quick. So if you can imagine if you don't have somebody with you, you're like, dude,
And, the
Panic
big-
time.
and
Yeah,
like, there's so many layers of where cars are.
Yep.
So when
I
like
got
I
lost.
finally found him, I'm like,
where do we
oh yeah,
go?
we go this way, I guess. And then it's like, oh, now it's up there. And then you
The
finally
second
find
ferry,
it.
we're all like sober and stuff. This thing starts going like this. I'm like, we got on the wrong ferry. I'm like,
So
gonna
we're
sink.
walking up to like to get food or something, and it's like just me and him
We're like
walking.
trying to walk up.
and
It's
the
like
boat
this.
starts doing this. And like I'm like, okay, you know, this is kind of
Yeah.
weird.
We
Maybe it's
also
the
the
waves,
second
but
time.
it's going. And I'm
And
like,
we're trying
huh.
to walk, and it's like pushing us. Like,
And then over the radio stuff, it's it's the beginning. Like the boat had just started, so they're going over all the safety meaning stuff. So as the boat's doing that, and I'm literally walking on an angle, I start hearing safety jacket over here. Please insert this. This is how you. And I'm like, I'm fucking sinking right now because everything I have is in the bottom of this boat right now. Like I'm not
I'm like,
prepared
I've
for
seen the
this.
Titanic. Leo found a door. That's if we go down, the first thing I'm looking for is a door. Fuck everyone else.
But I mean,
Dude.
like, it was a good thing that we were all sober the second. Like, I was sober the first time. I was just so tired from driving.
You know, being really tired is just as bad, if not worse, as being fucked up. Like it just
Yeah.
does.
The
You
first
get to
little
enjoy
bit,
it, you know?
we would take shifts and they'd stay up. We're like, guys, go to sleep. Like,
It's
we-
hard to
we're
go to
like-
sleep when the wind is every 5 seconds. Just,
Oh yeah, our
on
van
the-
has
on this,
no like.
oh,
Installation in our windows where like the
Sounds like
little
you're driving
rubber
through a tornado.
holds everything.
Yeah.
There's like a
It's
hole
like-
this big on each side.
So you're getting full
So
of.
it's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
even if we had a radio, we don't. But even if we had a radio, we would not have been able to listen to it because all you're just the entire time
They
from
gypped
each
you on
side.
insulation. Like,
Oh, bro, like the top of the doors are just straight metal. Like,
yeah, no, like, it's like, even if we did have radio, it's like we don't have radio, so it's like, alright, well, listen to your phone.
We have to like, where'd the deck go?
Like,
Did someone jack it?
someone-
Like, I don't
he
get
probably
that.
took
Like,
it out.
bro, the fan must have
But,
sat
like,
for fucking years.
here's
It
the
probably
thing: is
did.
like, anytime I move my stereo, I take the whole component out. And I was like, oh, I'm just gonna take the head of it.
Yeah,
well,
that's
if I probably
weird.
took it out for some random reason, lost it.
Yeah, but like literally, it's like if you want to listen to music, it's like, yo, we'll just play music on your phone. Oh, your phone's gonna die. Charge it. Oh, I got a surprise for you, buddy. You're fucking.
The music's very low
your
on the
things that
phone, so
you're,
if we start singing, it just drowns out.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just us singing.
But it's
When
like
Nelly
even when
comes
your
on,
phone dies,
More
though, it's like
Roses
cigarette
by
lighters are not
Outkast.
working.
Oh boy.
That's great.
That came on today, and you heard the piano, and I'm like, oh, pause. I'm like, are you guys ready for this? I don't think these
It's
guys
not
even old
epic
enough to know what it is.
They all
But
are.
like,
I'm
yeah, the
not.
whole time
You
you
know
start
what?
singing, you don't even hear the radio or the phone anymore, and it's just kind of like. It's
By the
like
time you get to
there.
back Ontario, you'll basically have like an entire musical worth of material that you guys can perform.
Yeah, well, and it's all gonna be in the key to Sound of Silence.
Nice, dude. Nice.
And this is Barbie Girl in the key of Sound.
We were like literally singing about Rick.
Oh,
We said some really like crazy shit about Rick, like how his life's
Yeah, no. Like,
His
really
wife is
driving,
very,
it's
very
like-
upset with how the fact he's never home.
Yep.
So unfortunately, she was ready to get a divorce, but it didn't happen because Rick didn't make it home. So it's kind of left up in the air as to what's going to be happening with
Is
she-
the divorce.
Is
because
she a
Well,
widow by
hopefully they had a
choice?
pretty
Yeah.
so she gets all
Or
her
is this
shit.
all planned by
hopefully,
her?
you know, I'd like to hope the best for her if she's listening right now. But,
Mrs. Rick, we love you,
Yeah.
and
I
we
hope
hope that you get
you-
everything.
I hope you're okay.
All the
I
money.
hope
I
everyone's
hope you get
very-
I
all
hope
the
the
money.
children are fine.
for our
Accidental
for,
death.
Yeah, get that fucking life insurance, yo.
Dude, we should have a podcast.
I bet you
while we're
she's
driving.
like making it happen. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna make sure he crashes.
We'll do a
somehow,
deep dive on Rick's.
Make sure he drives on a really
I
good
We
Yeah.
were we were also in a ghost convoy.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was right after the
That's
Jesus
fun.
sign.
Okay, so why do you think we're in a ghost convoy? Okay, so there's like a bunch of transports
Not
here
fake. It happened.
in between and behind us. So like they'd be a little bit ahead and they would like go around a cliff, so we would go. Literally 2 transports. Where the fuck did they go? Like literally they were like there's no way they would have
They go
they're
around
like
a corner
they
and
sped up
disappear.
and just
Gone.
So I'm just like are,
And then, like-
are these like ghosts of Ricks that have passed or
And
something?
then 10
like,
minutes later, You would come around another corner where there'd be nothing because they already dissipated.
Yep.
And then now there's like 4
Transport
of them.
right beside us.
Yeah,
Like,
what
what the
where are they coming from? And then again, same thing. 5 minutes later or so, they're gone again. And then they come back, and now it's only 2 again. Like, and it's
Yeah,
like,
no, it's trippy.
it was
made
the
no sense.
weirdest thing. Now, lack of sleep probably had a little bit of something to do with
If
the
this doesn't
craziness
prove
of
that
it,
we are
but-
truly living in a simulation, I don't know what the fuck is.
Like, I'm fully.
There
fully
is a
with
little
it.
bit of a lag in that.
And the rocks are like falling rocks. They have this like hockey
The nets?
netting. Like, what is that gonna do?
Realistically, just hold it towards the cliff so it definitely hits you.
That is straight up. That is straight up a placebo to make your anxiety down here.
I
That's
think
all
so.
that is.
They're
Anyone's
like, we're gonna
no.
spend $3 million on nets, but people will stop having heart attacks on the
Right.
highway. So
Excellent.
I
Seems
played
like
But it
road
doesn't
hockey.
actually
If an
resolve the
orange ball
issue.
can make through that net, I guarantee a rock's gonna make through that net. There's no way.
Straight through the
No way that's
windshield.
holding anything up.
yeah, those signs on the mountains will give you.
We seen a huge rock fall on the road though. It was massive, man. I was
Yeah,
like,
it's like
oh, sweet.
above Lake Superior.
That is
Oh,
like
Jesus
events to
Christ.
come. Like,
When we were in the Rockies, they were actually blasting dynamite at some points. We were like,
We were driving through where they
why?
were, but it was
Yeah,
so
they
late
had
that they
the
weren't doing it at the
blasting
time. There's
sign.
signs everywhere
yeah,
for
but
it.
you're just like, what? Why? Why are you doing this?
Yeah, like,
Why now?
that doesn't sound
remember the
smart.
random road? It said like runaway lane. It just randomly went down a mountain. It
1,000
was like
meter
a-
runaway lane.
In case a truck can't stop, they have to go up that to slow them down and then hit their e-brake. Apparently, that's what that's for. So, which is
Check your brake.
terrifying.
Oh,
That is literally
Every
it's
time
been-
you hit the bottom of a cliff, it's like, or the top of a cliff, it's like, truckers, please pull over, check your brakes.
Yeah.
We're like,
So
Every
we're going
time?
down this hill. Jordan's like, Jamie, check your brakes. Use the brakes. So like, don't accelerate. I'm like, dude, I'm on the brakes. I'm like, I have not used my acceleration for the last 5 minutes. This is like pure hill power. Like,
and that ram
Power
goes
on the
way
mountains.
forward.
The
You
thing
know
that
that thing's heavy. In
it
the front.
doesn't help
Like
that we're
check your
already a
brakes.
half-ton van, let alone 4 dudes in it with a full drum
Oh.
kit.
we
2
get an accident. We're gonna get
pads,
smacked in the head with
everything.
amps. Friggin', we're getting impaled by like boom stands.
This is not a safe work environment.
His ride's gonna go guillotine all of us.
Yeah,
I was
it
just
doesn't
free
fit in the
floating
bag,
by
dude.
the
It's-
van.
Ugh.
Oh,
Buy
man.
some cases.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man.
Like I said, fourth thought for next time: get the trailer. Road cases. Everyone will be safe.
yeah.
As long as you don't whip that thing around a corner and lose it.
I don't drive. so
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
dude.
do that.
If that little bit thing goes off the cliff, it's blown up.
We need to get like a little detachable string or whatever, so once it falls, we just like pull
Like,
it.
nope.
You know?
Cut it, just- oh, that's it.
Cut the
And then,
fucking wire.
and then someone just gotta stand back the whole time, just
Like-
like with the scissors
It's
ready.
like,
Like,
nope.
Oh,
Okay.
take turns.
oh
take
shit!
Turns.
Cuts the.
It's like, all right,
Oh.
trailer gone. Look
Well,
like
I
you're
think
going
it's
a
not
long way. You're gonna be in debt for years.
We'll go
When you
let's
think
look
about
at
the
the
Could
shots
really
that
use a
they
record
get,
label
trailer
signature right now.
insurance.
Yeah.
True.
Have they called yet? But when you think about the fact that those old trailers were only held by one metal pin, like that really
That makes me
That-
happy.
that doesn't inspire confidence as this.
No.
I love some of the trailers you've seen. It's just like it's just in metal. Like the wheels, like the lights are hanging down, and like people are like, "Oh yeah, strict laws of trailers nowadays." I'm like, I don't think so. Have you seen some of the trailers that are out there? Like, how is that okay on the road? Like this guy built it like just in his backyard. He's like, "I take my son's wagon, put some fucking nails, fucking
Dude.
wood together."
Brandon was driving on the road, and some dude's trailer, literally the wheel of the trailer came off of the trailer and smacked the side of his car, and the trailer just went nuts. And I'm just like, what the hell? How are these able to be on the road?
Canadian highways for you.
Yep.
Yep.
Facts.
Except for Trans-Canada, because their highways, they have the little patrol officers, which is pretty cool.
They do. I was as stupid as this is. I was like, if we're gonna get pulled over, at least let it be a Mountie, please, for the love of God.
Yo,
Like,
so when we were in Calgary, we were chilling with the buddy that actually
Expect to see
the
a
old
horse.
vocalist of the band, and so we're just sitting there chilling, having a couple of brews, and he goes on about how in Alberta on the highway there,
Being pulled over.
they legit like cops will pull over in normal ass cars on the sides of the roads and on the roads that are on the sides. You know what I mean? And they'll look like they're broke down or they're doing something, and they're sitting there with their camera and shit.
Dude, they have cameras
Yeah,
at
so-
lights in Calgary where if you speed, you're just like, oh, all of a sudden you just get a ticket in the mail. Like, what the fuck?
So yeah, we're kind of expecting that we get home to a ticket at least. You know? We have no idea because like once we got told that, like we started looking for it, and like you never know. We could just be Joe Blow on the side of the road, whatever. But
There's a lot of Joe
I don't
Blows
know.
inside of the road.
Yeah, like it was
There's a lot of
there
Joe
seems to be a
Blows.
lot of
Pretty
blue
weird.
Kias. I don't
Yeah.
understand what that's all about.
Why are all these cars breaking down? They're brand new. That's a 2019. You ain't broken down.
Son of a bitch.
You'll see them around here for some reason. There's cops that ride around in like the most inconspicuous vehicles. Like they have vans. They have.
we saw like
Yeah,
a
pickup
Ford,
trucks.
pickup truck pulled
Yeah.
over someone the other
Yeah.
day.
I want to see a cop have a rickshaw one day.
I would be
So
surprised.
I would be impressed.
They,
Just have someone in the back.
they actually have
The criminal. Right.
Son of a bitch.
you'll see them around here for some reason. There's cops that ride around in like the most inconspicuous vehicles. Like they have vans. They have.
We saw like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Pickup
Ford,
trucks.
pickup truck pulled
Yeah.
over someone the other
Yeah.
day.
I want to see a cop have a rickshaw one day.
I would be
So
surprised.
I would be impressed.
They,
Just have someone in the back.
they actually have.
The criminal. Right, still handcuffs to the side. He's like,
He's just
all right,
lying-
let me get
he's
you
like,
to
"Hey,
jail
fly
now.
down there."
You got busted, so now you have to pull my ass up this big fucking hill. That's gonna be your punishment. No, they actually have bike cops around in the park too. And
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw it in Stanley Park, but the cops ride around like Clydesdales in there too.
Huh.
Really?
Yeah.
We didn't see that. We saw.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
there's some
Big
in
ass
Toronto,
horses,
man.
like-
Cops on
horses.
horses? Yeah, there is.
Where?
In Toronto.
Where in Toronto?
I don't know where the
Yeah.
convention center. I've seen two of them. They have like the big. I seen a cop do a wheelie on his mountain bike outside of a bar once. I died. He just like.
That's like bringing it back
Oh,
to
is
the
that
Canadian
legal?
Mountie. Like I expect if I'm getting pulled over in Alberta, I expect to see a horse in my rearview mirror.
just Red Dead Redemption. Galloping behind
Hey,
us.
shot the fucking, the loop going over there. Pull over, you!
He's like woo woo.
If he doesn't have a fucking rope, I'm not stopping.
Or is it even like got the little light siren with the strap on the horse's head? He like flicks the little on button. You can get back here.
All right, pit maneuver. The horse
Fucking
hits
the
his
siren falls off the horse and shit. I gotta go get that. Like
Or
And then
like-
when you finally do stop, the horse just kind of gently kicks the side of your car and pops the tire or some
But can
shit.
you imagine how cool it would be? Like you finally pulled over. You're like, all right, I'm not gonna run from a horse. And you pull over, and then this fucking horse comes up, just like right beside your car. You're like, okay, yeah.
He's totally
Here's
busting
my
your balls.
license and everything you need, officer.
You're gonna have your horse dick at your window level. That's the thing that's really gonna ruin your day.
Yeah.
I hope
Just like, well, thank you, officer. Oh shit.
That wasn't your
Sorry,
name, was it?
officer.
I think I just did that horse a favor. Fuck.
I'm trying to get out of this ticket right now.
Holy fuck.
Come on, guys, put your hands into it.
I'm a farmer.
They say good things about Ontario milk. That's all I'm gonna say. Fuck.
That was sexual harassment to a police officer.
Oh,
It's
like-
a little risque.
well.
Are you trying to avoid a ticket with sexual favors right now?
I
Like, that depends.
think
Are you
so.
into it? Or?
He's like, hey, stop horsing around, bud.
That was bad.
Budutch.
Oh.
Alright, fuck. Well,
Tonight's drive's gonna be fun.
I don't want to do
I
nothing.
hope so.
Oh, I want to die.
fair enough.
I don't. Tell me to go back
We're
fast.
gonna eat edibles tonight before we go anywhere.
I guess so. I guess
It'll
so.
be a fun ride for us.
If you fall asleep beside me, I swear to God.
Oh, it's you guys are together. I'm dying with him.
If Oliver's was anything like
You need
me,
some
I'll
bonding
do the
experience.
neck like.
No, George's my co-pilot, straight up. And if you guys want to do that, then we're sleeping here.
I thought we already
Yeah.
were sleeping here.
Okay,
Yeah.
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 I recommend
Why
you
would
get
we
a
start
reasonable
driving
sleep.
somewhere like at like
That's very
nighttime?
true. Yeah,
We
should
are.
probably
We
get a
thought we
sleep.
were driving through the mountains in the day. I thought that was.
He was the one who was like, I don't want to be downtown or drive.
No, we're not downtown anymore.
Okay,
we
we're
are
going
in a
back to
completely different
Hastings.
area.
I don't recommend.
Yeah, dude, that street's lit, bumping, party, switchblades.
Yo, white girls. That's where you go. to
Tent
club.
City. Did you guys see the
Dudes
TP?
walking with swords.
Yeah.
guys with swords? There's a crazy lady that
Insanity.
walks around down there with a snake, and then that one guy walks around with a parrot on their shoulder all the time.
We found
We
a
saw
dude
a
with a
woman-
giant parrot.
There's a
Or
woman
not
with a ferret.
A ferret? Man?
Yeah.
What?
There's a dude with a giant toothbrush too.
Oh, yeah, no, I
that was
cheers
funny.
him. I
He
cheers
cheers
him.
him with his toothbrush. He's like,
Well,
I'm gonna
he-
brush my teeth just because I saw that. Like, that's
What
cool.
about smoke?
Fair enough.
Crazy. Yeah, well, I will. We'll cut it off here. But that was, I'd say, killer content. I'll have to grab your guys' like social media stuff and wherever we can link the band to
Yeah.
store or
Yeah.
anything like that.
That
And
was
I'll,
awesome.
We don't have it. I'm just kidding.
whatever you
We
got,
don't have it.
whatever you do have.
We have it all, except for Twitter, because we're just not hip enough. Wait, we do
You
have
a
a Twitter.
That's chat.
We should make a being Tinder.
Then we
my
can
Swipe
sell-
right
we can
for
swipe right for
breakdowns.
breakdowns. Then we can sell the shirts there. Sick.
Actually,
You
you
should
actually
put yourself
be the
in a
best
dating app,
working
too.
Yes,
player
we were
on the
playing.
planet.
We were playing Victoria, and this bar, the lady that owned the bar, super rad lady. She came up and she wanted to buy one of the Wound Doom shirts for her daughter.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, what about the Tinder shirt? I bet your daughter would really like that. How old's your daughter? 12. Okay, never mind. Put that right back on the shelf. You don't even get to see what it says on the back. Moving right past that. Here's the other
Just
one.
moving right along.
Yeah.
That was
shit.
funny. I watched your face go from like, "Hey, how's it going?" to like, "Oh shit, let me put this away."
And I'm not really about trying to tell this mom how her 12-year-old daughter should be wearing a Tinder shirt. It's not really.
It's like, just pull back for a
That's
second there.
the dating of the future. You
Let's
know?
just
This
think
one-
about this.
One day, sweetie, you'll know what it's all about. You know.
I think you guys can get to the next level of marketing and put yourselves as a four-way polyamorous relationship on a dating app as a collective. And be like, if you
Yeah,
want one
you
of us,
want-
you have to
yeah,
deal
you
with
date
both
us
of
all.
us.
He's only going to add the whole group.
And then you swipe through the pictures. It's just like very different seductive photos from us.
Where
Like
you guys
naked against like with like just a bear rug covering, you know, the good parts. And I'm
That's
just
getting
like,
too much.
are in the back of the van.
This is
Yeah,
perfect.
in the back of the
I
Got like
got
a,
this.
a boom stand in
There's
the
four,
back.
there's
I'll
four
have-
kind seats.
I'll have a little splash symbol covering me. It's like, hey,
a little splash symbol. Eh?
I love how he said
it's
little
12-inch
splash symbol.
We'll be fine.
Just a little splash.
Yeah, just the wet.
Oh
The wet
my
emoji.
god.
Oh fuck.
I'll just have a drum key there, you know.
It's like you just can never find those when you fucking need them.
That's what she said.
This is true. Oh fuck. Well, I will let you guys get out of here and get some food and shit if you want.
girl
but,
sounds
Yeah, buddy. That was appreciated. It was awesome. Thank you.
yeah, let's
Yeah,
kill
thanks
her.
for the time, dude.
Thank you for making yourselves my guests.
You,
I will get that video done and send it to you guys as
Thanks,
soon as
man.
possible. Should be more than like a week or something. But
Take your time. There's a lot of stuff to cut out. There's a lot of scary shit
You know what?
that was said.
Yeah.
nothing that inappropriate where I'm gonna have to bleep anything. I don't think.
I think there's a
We
few
should
things.
shoot it then.
We'll start some hashtags.
Honestly, the other thing I should think you should bleep is what you said.
I say some nasty
You
shit.
shouldn't
Yeah.
say Jesus fucking Christ in the fucking YouTube video.
You're probably right. You know what? Actually, but I did read the regulations and rules of YouTube just to be safe about profanity, and they said swearing is perfectly fine as long as you're not like saying anything racist or homophobic and shit like that. That's what
Yeah.
they.
Isn't it like you're not allowed to swear within the first 30 seconds of the video?
Yeah, and I think
Or
we're
the
good.
first
I think
minute?
we were actually clear there. Yeah, yeah. For
Literally a law.
Yeah, I was
advertisements
listening to
and
count.
they're saying
Fuck,
they're
you know?
saying
29 seconds.
the reason for that apparently is because they're saying if a kid accidentally clicks on it and there's anything inappropriate, as long as they're not within the first 30 seconds, the parent has time to catch it and then like get them off.
Oh, yeah, makes
Bullshit.
It's such a
Ain't no
stupid-
parent
lies,
catching that.
lies.
It's bullshit, but you know, whatever makes PC people feel better about their lives.
Worldwide, every day, young kids are going to new porn.
Dude, everything is bullshit now. I'm still not sure what birds are.
What?
Are you
Before
right?
Before you guys do, do you guys want to sign the poster and we can have
Oh yeah, I got that guy from the guys can put the rest to say. Those are a fun bunch of dudes.
Yeah, man. They're great guys. They're wicked on stage too.
Yeah. They were like, yeah, we left for the tour wearing shorts and that was a fucking mistake.